Everybody talks about how to source rent-to-rent deals, but there's a big portion. What happens from sourcing the lead to actually closing the deal? And there's a big gap in knowledge out there. So on this video, I thought I would share a formula that I've built that guarantees deals every single time as long as you follow these, all right? It's 5 key steps. I want to share it with you now. Before I do, all right, if you're finding this value useful, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I absolutely love rent to rent. I'm passionate about helping people. It's changed my life. I want it to change yours too. So if you find this stuff useful, reach out on Instagram, show us a little bit of love. I really do appreciate it. So let's get into today's session. So this model looks a little bit like the Olympics, and essentially what each circle represents is a separate step in closing the perfect rent-to-rent deal. So what I want you to imagine is the viewing, stroke the lead is right here. This is when we get the viewing. This is when we find the lead. This is all to the left of this section, which is great. And we get our keys over here, all right? We get our keys on the right hand side. So it's the journey from finding the lead and getting the viewing to getting the keys. If that sounds good, hit the like button, because I know you're going to love this. And I know if you implement this stuff, you're going to get results. So first things first, the first step that I see so many people not doing, and it's absolutely essential, and that is on the viewing, you have to say yes. So what I most often see is people go to the viewing, they're kind of a little bit nervous, they've not got their confidence to offer there, and then they don't know their numbers, they want to go away, think about it. And what happens is you've got a landlord that might not be 100% in, you've got a rent-to-renter that's not 100% in, and guess what happens? There's no deal. So what you want to do is you want to build confidence into the deal. You want to build confidence in the landlord's mind so they know, hang on a minute, this person knows their stuff. And the way we do that in Rent to Rent 2.0 is by saying yes. So on the viewing, you just want to say, yep, I'd love to move forward, discuss the rent and the term, and leave that viewing with a deal in principle. That's what we call it. So once you've said yes, what happens next? Well, the second step that you're going to want to do is I like to formalize my yes with a offer letter. And that is where you send a summary in the form of an email, letter format. The more professional, the better, but it's very simple, confirming what you've agreed on. And this formalizes it. Now, what a lot of people will do on this email is they will bamboozle the landlord with too much information. I want you to keep it simple, but the next step is I want you to invite them to what I like to call a close call. Really key. This was a game changer, because what I realized was that if I over communicate beforehand whilst I'm still trying to get the deal in principle over the line, I would lose leads. So I keep the yes simple, I keep the offer letter simple, and then I suggest a close call where I would do a phone call or a Zoom session or sometimes even a coffee with the landlord to then massage the deal over the line. And this is where I will go through the different terms and I will build in the rent free period. I will build in a break clause, a termination clause. I will build in all the fancy terminology and the fancy clauses which make the deal come to life. Because if you try and do that stuff too soon, you're going to lose the deal. Now, the next section's extremely important. This is when you then go on to your contracts. Do me a favor, everyone. If you feel like the legal side of rent to rent, the contracts are a struggle for you and you don't want to rely on Bob or Facebook, I just want you to comment below and just type contracts. Okay? If you feel like you need help with your rent to rent contracts and agreements, type contracts. and I'm going to send you a link which you're going to absolutely love, which is going to help you on that journey. And then last but not least, this is when it's time for us to close the deal. All right. This is when it's time for us to close. And to be honest with you, I like to call it the close, because I've got a special way of closing the deal which works every single time. Now, at the beginning, I say that on average, you know, if I've got a brand new mentee or somebody that just joins 90 day, usually what happens is it takes the average person 13.5 viewings to get one deal. And keep in mind, this average deal will generate 1K per month. Just lost that. Let me put it up higher so you can see it. It will generate 1K per month. Or if you're in London, you might even get 2K per month. Let me know how many of those you need. You don't need many, right? But what happens is once you follow this formula, I'm going to expect that ratio to move to more like 1 in every 3. And I actually did a viewer yesterday, 1 out of 1 converted close just through following this formula. So if you found this useful, do me a favor, all right? Subscribe, man. Comment below, give me some feedback. Let me know what your biggest take home was, or maybe other ideas for content you would like to see on the channel. Remember, if you need help on your contracts, just type contracts in the comment and I'm gonna try and send you, signpost you. You're gonna love it. And appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Whatever you do, don't wait 25 years.